excited to be here to do
My
this.
name is Laura Foster.
Guitar player extraordinaire slash resident fun guy at Northside Baptist.
Trio Quinn. I'm actually Charlie's cousin.
Neil Baker.
Eddie Baines Blanton. I'm a junior at Lowndes High School.
Peterson. I'm a student at Lowndes High School.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. I have a longtime friend with me on today, and I'm so glad we could have gotten this worked out. But if you could introduce yourself, and we'll just keep on rolling.
Okay, my name is Maggie Jo Hamilton. I went to Lowndes High School, and I was in the band there. I was raised in the church at Central Avenue Church of Christ, and I've gone there my entire life. I was baptized at 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone always tells me that I'm mature for my age, an old soul, if you will.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm the same way in my faith. Some would say that 10 was a little bit young to be baptized.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, to me it didn't matter. I was sure of my decision then, and I'm sure of it now. So.
Yeah, that's good. Well, because, like, one thing that I was thinking about when, kids get baptized young or, get saved young, do you remember it? And you clearly do, because some I'm like, you get baptized so young, do you even remember that you said you did it, but do you remember it at all?
Yes.
And for me, I'd be like, I want to remember that pivotal moment in my brain, not just through a photo or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
and me
good.
and my sister were baptized on the same day. So
That's
that
good.
was
That
really
helps.
special.
That
Yes.
helps. Yeah, that's really, really good. So when it comes to your testimony, how did you come to God?
I grew up in the church. I kind of saw this quote. I don't have a big turnaround story as my Christian testimony, but I saw this quote that said something along the lines of, I can't pinpoint when my faith became genuine because I grew up in the church.
Right.
And I can relate to that quote because I have to say, no matter what your testimony is, it's your story to tell because your story reflects how Jesus works through you. And I feel like that's so special. So I just try to live that out in my everyday life. And I just try to live the way that Jesus would want me to.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And, just to tell people, we've known each other since, I was thinking about it today. Since we were, kindergarten?
Yeah, probably
maybe pre-K even? I don't know. Well, and it's funny because we've known each other for so long. We've kind of ran around in different circles, but we did always knew each other. But, and then, here recently, probably high school, we, kind of started talking more. But it's been so funny. It's we've known each other for so long, and, but we've, always done different stuff. But
Yeah.
I think we've kind of had that, respect for each other too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really, really, it's so, it's so awesome. And, and in some ways, I see you as, a sister that I grew up with, even though we, like I said, we just now really started talking because we've known each other for so long. And I just wanted to tell that to people because we've known each other for a long, long time. But, when it comes to, your experience with the Bridgeman, and also you can tie dance in there as well. I didn't ask, that's not in the question, but you can tie that in if you want. What's your experience like with both of those? Has been,
Yeah, now that we've graduated.
Yeah.
When I was in the Georgia Bridgeman, I really loved what I got to do. Not only did I have a lot of fun playing on Friday nights,
Yep.
but I also got all of my high school friends. That's kind of where my circle of friends came from, was the band. But yeah, I marched the bass drum for 4 years. And
That thing looked heavy.
it wasn't as bad as what people said it was because I was drum 2. I wasn't the bottom bass drum.
Yeah.
But, it was still rough when it got hot outside.
Yeah. Well, it was because I think what it was because it was it looked like half your size.
That's true.
And because it was huge on you. I was like, how is she carrying that? And how much, do you remember how much pounds it was or?
Probably around 20.
That's crazy though. I can imagine in the heat though carrying that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be hard.
I think my book bag was heavier though, walking up and
Yeah.
down the stairs every day.
I would agree. Those book bags would get heavy. Yeah. Yeah. But when it comes to so your experience, like you said, you've gotten your friends there from the Bridgeman, but overall, as a whole, can you dive more into your experience with that?
I think my biggest experience, now that I graduated, came from being section leader for 2 years.
Yeah. That's a big
I
one.
really got to help out people who needed my help and even though I didn't I'm kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I was more of the role model than I was the person to tell other people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still honored to have the title of section leader and to just kind of be there for other people.
Yeah.
I was definitely the mom of the group with majority boys. So,
Yeah.
But
Right. That's good. That's good. Yeah, and and I've interviewed him here. It was a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago now. MJ Carter. So you met him in the band, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is a character now. And so I can't remember. Was he part of your section too, or yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he was in drumline with me.
I thought so because I can't keep track of all of it because there were so many people, but. Because I've seen bits and pieces of that friend group and here and there and everywhere, and it's so cool how genuine you guys are with each other, right? Just how Steven talked about you guys too. I can just tell, not just in lounge but also in other places. Because you don't see that as much anymore in friend groups anymore because something there's always there's always that one outlier that just wants to just but with you guys. You guys are all so genuine. Yeah, it's so
definitely
cool to see.
a family. Our group was so big. We had about 30 in drumline alone, not including front ensemble. Yeah. And I definitely feel if I ever needed them, they would have my back.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely. You kind of talked about what instrument you've already played, but what got you interested in that specific instrument?
It's kind of funny because I did band in middle school, but I was just kind of placed in percussion because I tried out for a few different instruments like flute, trumpet, tuba, and I couldn't make a sound come out of any instrument.
Really? So
they just kind of put me in percussion. In middle school, we had a few different band directors come through. It wasn't very steady, so my true love for band really came in high school. Yeah. And freshman year of high school was COVID. So for audition placements, we had to send in videos. So I just got placed on bass drum, and by the luck of Dr. Grant picking me to be on bass drum, I really loved it, so I stuck with it. But it was just kind of how everything lined up.
Right. And okay, correct me if I'm wrong because this was a memory that I thought I had, maybe I don't. In middle school, did you ever play the triangle at any point?
I did.
I thought you did. Yeah. I swear. I was I feel like she played the triangle in a concert or something.
6th grade solo.
That's funny.
It was so fun.
I thought you did. I was because I thought I remember I think it might have been your mom or somebody saying, yeah, she's playing the triangle out there. I was
they were so proud of it too.
That's
everyone
so
has to
good.
Start somewhere.
That's right. And hey, you ended up hitting something just like the drum, right? So there you go.
But triangle to bass drum was a big jump.
Yeah, that's literally a big jump. So you've always been open about your beliefs and your faith and everything, on social media and everything, and you're not afraid to show that. Yeah. And I know that in the past, you faced some blowback and different things. How's that affected you? Because I've seen it.
Yeah, I've always tried to share my beliefs whenever and wherever I can. Yeah. But when I face those blowbacks from people, I feel for me, I just wish that they would confront me and talk to me about it, so that we can find a middle ground, find something that we can both agree on, even if it's to agree to disagree. Right. But that's not going to stop me from sharing my beliefs. If we can agree for us to even unfollow each other, but in a civil way to still be friends about it, that's fine with me. But that's not going to ever stop me from posting, because I think the bottom line for me is it's not my own words that I'm putting out there, it's God's word. Right. So it should be shared.
Right. And and one thing it kind of was making me think of is that if you can resolve it in a way that they don't go blasting your name on social media, it's because people have reputations on them. If somebody says one thing, they go crazy. They're like, oh, so and so, look what this person posted about this person. That must be true.
Well, and even if they choose to say that, I don't care what they say about me. Yeah. As long as they're not pushing against God's word. That's good. I don't care what they say about me, but that's good. Yeah. Because
I know that because I've, again, like I said, I've seen it, and at first I was thinking, why in the world would somebody say that about but again, we have to think that's what is part of being a Christian. There might be pushback, and I'm honestly. And I'm not saying this on myself. I hope it doesn't happen. Yeah. But I'm honestly surprised I haven't had more pushback from this than
But that's
I have.
good.
Oh yeah, I mean it is good. I'm not saying like, oh, I want so much pushback, like I want to talk about and complain, but no,
Yeah.
but. I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100 episodes in, I'm surprised somebody like, oh my, you're just talking like nonsense. But I think what is interesting about it is the reason why people can't argue this is because it's people's stories.
Yeah.
Is that God's given them these stories, and you can't argue somebody's story. It didn't happen to you.
That's so true. And like, whether they believe it or not, that seed's gonna be planted because
That's right.
they have to read what I say for them to disagree with what I say. So I'm like, at least they've heard it in some form or fashion.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's good. The only thing that I worry about is like them taking it out of context and they're like, oh, but that's good though. And to think that way, because a lot of people they may see that and they're like, well, gosh, and then it goes down in the dumps after they get pushed back from it. You know, but that's a really good way to look at it. So when you look towards the future, I know we kind of talked about it before, but what are you going to miss, and also like, what are you looking forward to?
Definitely gonna miss my friends the most.
Yeah.
The friends that are still in high school and I'm not.
Yep.
But also the friends that have moved off, which like I'm really proud of them for doing
Me
that.
too, but I'm like, you
not-
left me.
Yeah, I'm not in a place where I could do that right now, but I am gonna miss them. But I'm also looking forward to just college itself because even though I don't have a major, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I took dual enrollment classes, so I already know the campus. I kind of know how it works at VSU. And
That's good.
I'm just excited to get started and see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and it's so funny when you bring up like you're so proud of your friends, because I am too. It's like I am so proud of them, and that's one thing that's so neat to see is to see all the different paths that are going on. Of course, like my mom talks about it all the time, where like she didn't have social media and all that. But that's one reason why I'm so glad that we have it now, is that we can see where all of our friends are going.
Yeah.
Like, one's going to UGA, the other one's going to like maybe an hour away. Like, but that's all the paths that God's taken them on.
Yeah, and you can still stay connected with them and everything. So.
Yeah. Oh, I've been talking to Baines every night. Like, it's like, but it is a sad thing because it's been an adjustment, I'm sure, for you and for me as well. Because you get used to them being like, even if you don't see them every day, the fact that they're not in the same vicinity as you, it's weird for me. It's like, because you expect them to see them at church, you expect them to see them here, whatever, but they're not. It's like, I wish I could just move my church up there. It's like,
Yeah, I am such a person that like I'm bad about texting or calling people because I just like talking to them in person. So now that they're not in person when I
it kind of forces you to have to.
Yeah, I'm having to get in a better routine about checking in on people.
Well, hey, that's good though. And some people say I'm good at that, but I'm like, I don't know. I think I might be glued to my phone too much is what the problem is. You say that I'm good about checking on people. I think it's just that I'm glued to my phone.
No, you're using it in a positive way, I think.
Yeah, thank you. But when you look at the youth today, do you see hope, or are you worried about the future?
Some of both. You can't help but feel some of both.
Yeah.
But I'm choosing to focus on like the hopefulness that this generation is going to bring better things. We really have the potential to do good things in the future. And I feel like we have so many smart people and like faith-based people, at least that I know that I'm trying to be friends with and surround myself with. So I think it's going to be a positive change.
Yeah. And, just to brag on them, I always brag on them on this podcast for some reason, but the junior class that was, they were the sophomores, but now that I'm juniors, they blow my mind, at least at Lowndes, every day. And that includes Avery and Micah, just to name a few. I don't know what it is, but like I can just see Jesus in them all the time. Like even at school, I could tell. Because there'd be times where I was just kind of like, I'm at school, I was done with the day. I'm just being honest, but then I would see them, and then it would just be like it's like a shot of Jesus just went inside of me because I saw them. And I've said this before, but Micah really amazes me in the way that he's passing stuff out to kids all the time. Like, he's got, who Ray Comfort is? He's a guy that, like, goes out, I think it's like using the beaches of California, and preaches to people and tells them, like, about the Ten Commandments and about Jesus. And there's some wild people out there. I'm not going to lie. There's probably a better word to use that's more courteous, but there's some different people out there. But he's got these, like, what you would look like gag gifts, right? But they got the gospel on the back of them, or in different areas. Like one of them that Micah gave me was a dollar bill, And I was like, Michael, what the heck is this? He's like, look at it and read it. And I was like, I have to flip it over, and the gospel's on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you know, I ended up, I still can't believe I ended up doing this. So I had those graduation announcements. I taped it to the back of one of those announcements, and I gave it to one of my teachers.
Really?
Yeah, because like, and I won't say the artist it was, but she was listening to a certain type of music, and like whether she was Christian or not, I don't know. Because some teachers, they just, you can tell more than others because they can't tell you, you know, and so I just taped it there, and she noticed it. I told her it was on there too. I was like, you know, hey, there's something on the back of that, by the way.
Yeah.
But you know, whether it's stuck or not, I don't know. But hey, you got to plant those seeds wherever you can.
Exactly.
And I think I don't know why. For some reason, I've always felt it easier to talk to adults more than kids my own age.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know why. It's like you would think I would, you know, want to talk to kids my own age and like spread the gospel to them more.
Well, especially not at church for me, because I really do find the wisdom in some of our older members, and I cherish that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And you know, if you want, you can talk about your church a little bit too. I know we haven't. There's not a question there, but if you want to talk about that a little bit, you can.
I mean, overall, I would just have to say that our church is one of the best about greeting people and making them feel welcome.
That's good.
Even though I've gone there my whole life, I've visited other churches and things, but they're always really good about trying to check in on the members there, but also talk to new people when they come. And I feel like that's really hard to find in some churches, especially bigger or smaller churches. You don't see that a lot. So.
No, I mean, you know, I'll just give you an example. So, you know, my friend Baines, he's, you know, like I said, he's up in Athens right now. He told me that he this Sunday he just went to Prince Avenue up in Athens. I don't know if you've ever stepped foot in there.
No.
I'm not either, but he told me how big it was.
Okay.
And sure, there's the individual ministries, but I'm like, how in the world you're gonna miss a new member somewhere? Because it's 3,000 people are in this church. They have 3 services.
Okay.
And I'm like, and they said there's over 400 kids in the college ministry, which is what Baines would be in.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that's massive.
Yeah.
I don't know. And if I was that pastor at that church, I'm like, how in the world would you keep up with everybody's names? There's probably about like 12 Steves and like 50 Bills just in that one church. But, you know, and I'm not saying that like that big of a church, you know, can't grow and you can't know people, but I feel like it would be harder.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, and people would probably get in like their cliques, I guess. You know, they wouldn't meet new people. And some people, and I won't lie, I've seen churches around here do that. I mean,
yeah.
You know, you get in your ministry, you get in your clique, and then you're not going to go out and meet new people. And I mean, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good at all. But, you know, one thing is for sure that for me at least, like, people know me everywhere around here. Like this church, I'm like, my name's like everywhere. I'm like I can't keep track of all the names. There's about in the choir. There's like three bills in there, or bins, 3 bins, and they all sat in a row one time.
Oh goodness.
I'm like, hey Ben, which one? I'm like, that one. You know, it's like. But what advice would you give to someone who's struggling to navigate this world in a biblical way?
I would say do not
You're good.
Do not compartmentalize your life. Pray about every part of your life, and then try to include God in everything that you do, no matter what it is.
That's good.
Our life itself comes from God, so it's our point to live life for Him and not just stay alive for Him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. Yeah, you know, because, I mean, it's like a common thing with all churches. I mean, shoot, you know, we all say this life, you know, it's hard, you know, and and I haven't really had people come to me and ask me that specific question. I have a feeling it's going to happen in some sort of form, you know, or way. And it's good you set that example, like at band camp and all that, because people see that, you know, regardless if, you know, they think directly about Jesus when they see it, it's going to seep in some kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I told somebody that they were going in as to be a teacher that I interviewed, a college student, and I said, even though you can't directly talk about Jesus in your classroom because, you know, it's a law and whatever. I wish it wasn't. But, you know, you can still instill those values in how you teach and how you react to situations. Because, I mean, you can do it one way or you can do it, you know, the bad way. So, if you could describe LHS in one word, what would it be and why?
I've thought about this, and there's so many things that you could say to describe it.
Yeah.
But I guess the best one is diverse. With the number of students, the backgrounds of all these students, the amount of clubs and activities that you can do. I feel like there is a place for everyone there once you find where you belong. I mean, we've said how band was my thing, where I found all my friends and everything. Yep. But it's just very diverse in the options that they give you. So.
And I mean, you can see that just in, I think, the football games too. Like,
Yes.
you've got, it's very diverse because of the parent. Like, look at all the parents, like, that show up in the different personalities and cultures and all that. Yeah. And I think, there's that mural that's in, like, it was painted a few years ago. We weren't even there yet, I don't think. But it shows all the different clubs and stuff, and that shows you all the stuff that we, that's out at Lowndes. I'm like, I was looking through the yearbook, and it happens every year. I'm like, we have that. Like, like, we have that kind of team. We have that club or whatever, because there's so much out there. And there's always at least one person a part of whatever that thing is I didn't know we had. But, yeah. So what are your life verses, and why are they important to you?
There's so many that I was trying to choose from. Yeah. And I think senior year, I found a lot in Job, and most people find that one to be kind of not, they say the patience of Job or whatever, but Job 22:21, that's where I'm starting. Submit to God and you will have peace, then things will go well for you. Listen to his instructions and store them in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored, so clean up your life. If you give up your lust for money and throw away your precious gold into the river, the Almighty himself will be your treasure, and he will be your precious silver. And I think that's just kind of a good focus for me, and just giving everything to God, because he is so great. And kind of going back to what you asked me a while ago, some advice that I could give based on that is like, people our age, there's no sin too big for God to forgive.
That's right.
And I think that's hard coming in as like college age, high school age, because we think we're too old and we've done something too bad. But that's not the case. Like, every day is a fresh start, and if we put God first, like, that's all that matters.
That's good. That's really, really good. But that's all the questions I have. But is there anything else you want to add, any words of encouragement, anything like that, before we get out of here?
Honestly, just like I said earlier, just give everything you have to God today. Don't wait. Whatever step you're in life, God can use you, and just give your life as glory to him.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to see what God does through it.
Thank you.
Of course. With another episode of the Young Minds Podcast coming to a close, I just want to remind you that you are never alone, and faith is action. So let's get out there.